Okay, so Jim Harbaugh's suspension is the first 4 games. As a Michigan fan, I really can't be entirely mad because it's the 4 most shitty games of the season. I mean, the last game you have is Big Ten play with Rutgers, but the other 3 games are not that important. I mean, they're like weak-ass games, so I think Michigan will definitely do well. The problem here, though, is they're suspending a guy for breaking a level 1 violation by doing Zoom calls and everything else, and watching players. Now, obviously, National Signing Day is always after the end of March or whatever, and for football players. And apparently, they decided that Jim Harbaugh was going to be suspended for 4 games because he used those allegations of that. Then last year, I believe, there was a scenario, and I'm sorry I have to do this to you, fans of the SEC, but he gave a burger from the Little Brown Jug game, and it was Little Brown Jug restaurant, not game, sorry, and I don't know how much the meal was. Let's say it's $29, right? Okay. At $29 meal, it's not like he took the recruiter to a super fancy restaurant, bought him a suit, and did it that way to try to give him everything. Now, I don't think that's really bribery and anything along the lines of that for like that first suspension where he was going to be suspended for 8 games or something. And ultimately, I just think that the whole Jim Harbaugh nonsense is just trying, one, I think they're trying to hype the season up to give us that comeback and stuff and give us more of a push to the national championship. But I also think that it's a little stupid because right here, right now, I'm going to talk about teams that get away with stuff. Why not go blame Tennessee? Tennessee had 18 violations and close to 200 now in total, and they haven't done anything about that school. This is why the NCAA is fucked up, because they go against the divisions that are like here and stuff. It's like, bro, stop favoring the SEC. They've only been relevant for 10 years. Like, where's our recognition? Hello, we've been recognized as Michigan of a school from 1901 to 1997 and stuff as winning 11 national championships. You tell me. Also, Nebraska was there in the 90s and 80s and 70s. You tell me they've been around for 3 decades, for 30-plus years and stuff. The Big Ten is better, and you're telling me that you're not going to go down there and stuff. Another thing is that Alabama and Georgia drive their coaches' cars, and they fuck them up left and right and crash them. Where's that? Where's that nonsense? The guy gets back on the team right away. There's no suspension or anything. The coach should be suspended for 8 games because he gave a kid a car and bribery for that. With NIL deals, I think it's a little less confusing. But again, too much bribery. Enough, okay? This is why I don't like the Jim Harbaugh suspension. First off, it's the 4 most crappy games of the season. I don't think anyone would freak out if it was the first 4 games. Like, if Nick Saban gets suspended for the same thing Jim Harbaugh does, do you think Alabama fans are going to freak out? No. Kirby Smart? No. Ryan Day? No. Whatever his name is, I think Jeff Franklin on Penn State. These guys are not going to freak out because it's the 4 most crappy games of the season. The first 3 games you always play like these trap games or regular games. You're playing Bowling Green, weak-ass games and stuff. I mean, it's whatever. But ultimately, I just don't like this rivalry. I don't like this suspension nonsense because, first off, it's taken away from the focus of the players. You have to have this bureaucracy and nonsense where everyone is going left and right, and ultimately it's taken away from the game, and now other coaches on the staff may also be suspended. Now you got to have the offensive coordinator call all the plays and be the head coach for those 4 games, and now you got to go out there and execute and go 4-0 and stuff and not lose to Rutgers, and then you got to go down the list and beat everyone again and go with like Jim Harbaugh, because game 5 of the season when you're playing it, whoever they're playing, they got to play hard and they got to play physical and they got to play well and stuff. And this is a very big concern. I'll let you know who game 5 is in a second. I'll be right back and then we'll continue this. Okay, I'm back. So game 5 is against Nebraska in Nebraska. It is a very tough game, though, because Matt Rule is now the coach, and he is a pretty solid coach. Now, I did also forget to mention that it says he is expected to get suspended for 4 games. It has not been confirmed that Jim Harbaugh is suspended as of yet. The other thing is that we don't know the full length of this suspension. Does the suspension incline that the guy, and, well, not the kid, but the coach can't have any interaction with his players and the staff? Or is it just a suspension saying you can't coach in these games, but you're allowed to attend the practices, you're allowed to coach during the practices, you're allowed to have interactions with your players, you're just not allowed to coach the games? I don't know right now what it is. If he's allowed to do that, I think it takes a lot of pressure off the guys, because it also has him still being there as a leader, just not there as a coach on the field and stuff. And, you know, that's where it's going to be very interesting. But that's all I got, guys. So until next time, don't forget to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one. Go blue. I don't understand what's going on, really. I've given up on trying to understand the rules and NCAA stuff a long time ago. I think it's all ridiculous. I don't like how certain teams get away with things. And as I've told you before, whoever said that it's easier to play in warm weather versus cold weather was right. But that's a video for another time. All right, I'm out.